Hello, you. I'm Sari too. And one of my viewers left a comment, and they said they were going to have grilled cheese and chicken noodle soup. And I was trying to figure out something to have for lunch. Well, what I did earlier is I opened this dumb grapefruit and kind of munched on it while I was trying to figure out. Well, when I saw what they were having for lunch, I thought, I got chicken noodle soup in my cupboard, and I got the double noodle one. Don't get this. It doesn't have any chicken pieces in it. And I also noticed at Campbell's and the regular chicken noodle soup, they don't have the little pieces of carrot and celery in them anymore either. But I'm going to go with the double noodle. So I'm going to get the hot water going. And we'll get that on the stove. And I like simmer it on the stove better. Because when stuff simmers slow on the stove, look how doubly noodly that is. We'll get that in there. But that was a great idea, you guys. Damn, I'm going to stir that up and let it simmer, 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 simmer. There we go. All right, noodle soup is simmering. I got my pan heating up already, so we can get rid of this. Well, now I want to tell you, I used to work at this little restaurant in this itty-bitty town. And this young girl, she was a friend of my daughter, 1,000 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever. And her and her mom would come in, and her sister, and they'd have lunch, and she'd always order a grilled cheese. And one day she ordered it. She says, I want lettuce, onions, and mayonnaise on my grilled cheese. And I thought she was fooling me. But you know what? I put it on, and it's delicious. I couldn't believe it. It was just... So that's how I'm going to make my grilled cheese for you guys today. I happen to be out of Kraft singles. I really like the Velveeta singles. But what we're going to have is pepper jack. So it's kind of going to be a little bit spicy. So I got my little bit of lettuce and tomato here. Lettuce and onion, not tomato. But I suppose a tomato would be good on it. But I'm going to cut my lettuce up real little. And my onions real little. And I'll show you how these are so good. I just love these. I don't have any chips or anything to go with it. Doggone it. It's just going to be chicken noodle soup and a grilled cheese. With onions, mayo. There's my lettuce for my cheese sandwich. And here's my little bitty onion. Just these little bitty pieces here. You don't need a lot. It's only for one. Ooh, buddy, we got a lot of onion, but that's all right. We like onions. But yeah, I thought she was pulling my leg. I really like that job. I really like that. It was a family-run little restaurant. And there wasn't no more than 800 people in that town. I gotta cut this cheese. Cut the cheese. Ho, ho, ho. But we got the pan heating up. Let's get that soup cooking. So, let's slice of some of this hot stuff. Ooh, I don't know about that. I got a little bit of mozzarella in there left. I might. It's going to be good. I don't know what that is, but I don't want it in there. I think that's enough cheese. We might want a little more. Ooh, buddy. Maybe a little bit more. I'm living brave, ain't I? That ought to be enough. But what I'm gonna do now is and I butter my bread. Some people put mayonnaise on the outside. I've never done that. Before they cook it. But I'm not gonna do that. And I'm gonna use my classic white bread. Still got some of that rye in there. But we're gonna use just regular old white bread. I'm not gonna be able to eat bread tomorrow. I'm not gonna be able to eat beans or bread or noodles. Just steak and green beans, I guess. But anyways, this is what we got going on here. Come on. Don't you be rolling in the floor. All right, fine. Fine, fine, fine. There. I got this fancy silver-coated butter knife. Or plated or whatever. But we're going to use that to butter our bread. We got that one buttered. It's getting warm in here. I haven't had a good coughing fit this morning yet, so. Maybe once we eat, we got to get our spoonful of. We just made a mess out of that butter dish. So let's see if we can get our mayonnaise on here without getting our fingers all goopy. Mayonnaise on. And I'm using Dukes. I like Dukes. I like Miracle Whip for certain things, and you know, it actually depends on what I'm making is what I use. So that goes butter side down. And then I'm putting the lettuce and tomato on top of that. Lettuce and onions. See how I did that? Then I'll just lay this cheese on there. Got that hot cheese, by golly. We're gonna know something. Then we'll put the top on that. I'll put the lid on that so that and here's for our. All right, I'm going to push pause. I better turn this heat up on this noodles. Our plate's dirty, but we don't care. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. And here's our flipper. All right. Let's take a little break. I got to go get a sip of coffee. I'll be back. Maybe. Come on. Okay, I think I figured that pause stuff out. Our soup's a-bubbling. And I think my sandwich is burning. Nope, it's not even kind of brown. But our cheese is melting. Yeah, there's no chicken in this extra noodle soup. But it's got a lot of noodles. And I don't care what they say about Campbell Soup Company. I used to work there. That's a very good company. Their food is not poison. GMO, everything's GMO'd. They wouldn't be able to feed the masses if it wasn't. Because soybeans used to not be an upright plant. They were vines. And an old era corn would be only that big. And you just, I'm going to turn that down. All right, I'm going to pause again. I got something I got to go do. Okay, here we go. There we go. I think we'll dip our soup into our bowl. I like broth too. I'll just eat that little bit for now. And right now all we're doing is just getting the rest of this cheese, this grilled cheese browned. Yeah, them kids are grown up and got a slew of kids on their own. I think she might even be a grandma now. You gotta imagine their kids are that girl I used to make that sandwich for, her kids are probably in their 30s. Late 20s, 30s. I don't know nothing. I ain't been back there to talk to them about nothing for a while. But by golly, there we go. I think we don't need to, well, we already got a dirty plate. I might need to get me a glass of milk. I love my milk, even though it gives me a bellyache. So, that's what we got going on. And here's what the other side of that sandwich looks like. Let me get my knife out. Don't look like much, but it sure is good. God is good, God is great. Let us thank Him for our food today. And friends who give us good ideas for lunch. God bless.